Hi guys, Richard Blaine here. Thanks for stopping by my Easy Cooking channel and Easy Cooking blog again tonight. I'm hungry. It's dinner time here in Las Vegas where I live, and tonight I'm going to make myself another Italian dish. Tonight I'm going to make myself risotto con pancetta, funghi e noci. In other words, risotto with bacon, mushroom, and walnuts. It's going to be very good. It's a dish that takes 30 to 45 minutes to make, and as usual with YouTube, we only have 15. So let's get going. Let's get to work, and I'll see you on the other side. Okay guys, the first order of business is I have to reduce the bacon, or the pancetta. So I'm going to put it in my large saute. And I have to reduce this bacon to usable brown bits. It's going to take about 10 or 15 minutes, so I'll be back real soon. Okay, the next order of business, the bacon has been reduced. This is the grease from the bacon. The next order of business, onion. You want that onion to caramelize. And garlic. Alright. Now, as with my last dish, I'm going to put a warning on this. If you're on a diet, don't eat this dish. This is a full flavored dish. Okay? There's a lot of fat in here. This is one of my favorite risotto recipes. It's full flavor, it's full fat. Now what I'm going to do with this onion and garlic is I'm going to let it soften up and caramelize, and then we'll be on to the next step, which will be adding the mushrooms. Okay, the garlic and the onions are softening and caramelizing. See those little brown spots? That's the caramelization. That's where the flavor is going to be. When we deglaze this pan, it's going to be delicious. Just a few more minutes and we'll get going. See you in a couple. Okay, the onions and garlic have browned successfully. I'm getting a lot of caramelization on the bottom of the pan. And what we're going to add to this mixture right now is baby portobellos or criminis. And we're going to mix them in and let them get soft. This will take about 5 to 7 minutes. But to that, one of the secret ingredients that I use for this dish, because this particular risotto dish is a very earthy flavored dish, because walnuts are a very earthy flavored nut, and the baby portobellos are fairly earthy. But what I also add to this dish is some powdered shiitake mushrooms. Now you could use porcinis. I didn't happen to have porcinis today, so I'm adding some powdered shiitake mushrooms to this mixture. And I'm going to reduce these mushrooms down. Like I said, the shiitake mushrooms add an earthy taste to this dish. Okay, the mushrooms have reduced. Now the mushrooms soak up the oil very quickly. And I have about a pound of mushrooms in here, so I added 1 ladleful of my chicken stock to help soften these mushrooms. Now that they're softened and reduced, we go to the next step. I add arborio rice. Okay. And I stir that in just like if I was making a pilaf. I want that rice coated with the oils and flavor that are sitting in this pan right now. Alright. I want each grain of rice coated. There we go. And then to that, I'm going to add back the bacon. Bacon is nice and crispy and brown. And I'm going to cook this like this for about 2 or 3 minutes, and then go to the next step, which is deglazing this pan. Okay, here comes the next step. The rice has been coated, it's brown, the bacon's brown, there's lots of nice bits, and we're going to deglaze the pan. There we go. Alright. And you want to stir from the bottom. You want to get all those brown bits off the bottom. Brown rice off the bottom. Bacon off the bottom. Mushroom off the bottom. There we go. I'm using 1 cup of Pinot Grigio. It's one of my favorite white cooking wines, especially for Italian dishes. Oh, it smells so earthy and good in here, it's ridiculous. Alright, I'm going to have to let this cook for about a minute or two to get the alcohol out of the wine, because we don't want the alcohol, we just want the flavor. So we're going to cook this for about a minute or two, and then we're going to start adding our stock, and I'll be right back. Okay, here it is, the most important step, making the risotto. Now, I have about 6 or 7 cups of chicken stock, and you have to make sure that the chicken stock or any stock that you use to make risotto is hot. If it's cold, it won't work. So you have to make sure it's hot and simmering. And you add between 1 and 2 ladles full at a time. And you just start stirring. Stock with my left hand, stir risotto with my right hand. Yes, I was raised a two-fisted partier. Here we go. You'll stir this and you'll want it to get absorbed. You want the rice to absorb the stock. You want to stir this constantly to prevent it from sticking. Okay. But each time you ladle in your stock, you want the rice to absorb it. Eventually the rice is going to have a creamy texture because arborio rice is a very starchy rice, and that's what you want. You want the starch to create that creamy texture. And again. And stir. This is a one-pan dish, guys. This is all being done in a 12-inch saute. It's 12 inches across, 2.5 inches deep. I know that most of the time you're familiar with seeing risotto being made in big sauce pot or big stock pots, but there's been a trend lately where people are making it in jumbo saute pans like this. So I'm going to cook this down for a little bit because I have to add a few cups in here, and I'm going to cook this up and let it reduce, and I'll be back in a few minutes. There are 2 tricks to making risotto. One is to keep on stirring so that it doesn't stick to the bottom, it doesn't burn. And 2 is to make sure that the fluid you just put in is absorbed by the rice before you put in more fluid. Currently there's 2 cups of chicken stock being absorbed here, and when it starts to run a little dry, I'm going to add a 3rd cup, and then I'm going to add a 4th cup, and then I'm going to start adding stock at a 1/2 cup rate. Okay, that's the 4th cup of chicken stock that I've put to this arborio rice. Once this 4th cup is absorbed, I'm going to start adding the rest of the chicken stock in 1/2 cup increments, and then I'm going to finalize the recipe with a few extra ingredients, and we'll be ready to rock and roll. Stay tuned. Okay, see how creamy it's getting? Nice creamy texture. Okay, this is going to need to cook for about another 2 to 3 minutes, and then I'm going to add the final ingredients, and then I'm going to plate it, and it's going to be delicious. Okay guys, at this point the risotto is basically done. I have a couple of last minute ingredients I'm going to put in, and here it goes. The remaining chicken stock. It's the last of the chicken stock. I've used about 7 cups. Okay. Last of the chicken stock. Okay. The walnuts. This is the Sicilian part. Nuts in the cooking. Just adds another layer of earthy flavor. Okay. Stir that in. There we go. Fold it over. You want those nuts getting hot. You want them to soften up a little bit, but not too soft because they're going to impart crunch as well as flavor. There we go. Okay. Here we go. Then, a little bit of basil. Chiffonade. Just for a little color. Yes, it'll add some flavor too. It makes it smell fantastic. Move it around. There we go. Nice and creamy. That basil gets mixed in there. Yeah. Oh, it's going to be a good dinner tonight. But then, it's a good dinner every week. Alright. Then here's something you usually don't see added to risotto. This is another part of the Sicilian aspect. Heavy cream. Okay. This just adds to the creamy nature of the dish. Lightens the color, adds the flavor. There we go. Not too many risotto recipes call for heavy cream, but this one does. All right. Last but not least, a combination of Parmigiano, Asiago, and some Gorgonzola. Okay. Stir that in there. So that a nice pungent scent and pungent flavor, because Gorgonzola is delicious. And Parmesan is delicious, but my personal favorite's the Gorgonzola. Alright, oh, God. How it smells so good, it's ridiculous. Alright. Now, this risotto is officially finished. Done. There's your creamy texture. Okay? Okay? Here's your creamy texture. What we do, we turn off the heat. We bring the risotto down. We bring the risotto down like so. You put a cover on it. We let it stand for 2 minutes, and I'll be back to plate it. See you in a bit. There you have it, guys. My dinner. Risotto con pancetta, funghi e noci. Risotto with bacon, mushrooms, and walnuts. A classic dish. A tasty dish. I'm hungry, so I'm going to get to it. Thanks for stopping by. Take care. Okay, guys. So there you have it. My dinner. Risotto con pancetta, funghi e noci. Risotto with bacon, mushrooms, and walnuts. It's a fantastic recipe. It's delicious. I hope you try it. I know you'll love it. I want to thank you for stopping by, and I'll see you on the next video. Take care.